Jaya Gopi Jaya Vallabha Srivachari Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Bihari Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Radha Kunja Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Radha Kunja Bihari Jaya Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Jaya Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Aladeva Mai Subhadra Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Srinath Ji Jaya Balagopala Jaya Srinath Ji Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Srinath Ji Jaya Balagopala Jaya Srinath Ji Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Stotra Tata Chaitanya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Grantharaj Shrimadbhagavatam Rama Veda Bhaktivedanta Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol All glories and some of the Hare Krishna glories and some of the All Shishi Guru and Gauram Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayana Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Yastaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Chapter 9.
Yes.
Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 18, the passing away of Bhishma Day. My eyes are not seeing. I have a light. Sorry, my eyes are not.
I understand.
You have light? Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Maya Lokam Gudascharati Vrishnu Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Maya Lokam Gudascharati Vrishnishu Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Maya Lokam Gudascharati Vrishnishu. Please repeat.
Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat
Adyo Narayana Puman
Mohayan Maya Lokam Gudascharati
Vrishnishu
Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Maya Lokam Gudascharati Vrishnishu
Okay. Esha. This. Vai. Positively. Bhagavan. The personality of Godhead. Sakshat. Original. Adya. The first. Narayana. The Supreme Lord who lies down on the water. Puman. The Supreme Enjoyer. Mohayan. Bewildering. Maya. By his self-created energy. Lokam. The planets. Buddha. Who is inconceivable. Charity. Moves. Vrishnishu. Among the Vrishni family. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. This Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayan, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vrishni, just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with his self-created energy. Please repeat. This Sri Krishna. Is no other than. The inconceivable. Original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayan. The supreme enjoyer. But he is moving amongst. The descendants of King Vrishni. Just like one of us. And he is bewildering us. With his self-created energy. Purport. The Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the deductive process. The Vedic knowledge is received perfectly by disciplic succession from authorities. Such knowledge is never dogmatic, as ill-conceived by less intelligent persons. The mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father. She is the authority for such confidential knowledge. Therefore, authority is not dogmatic. In Bhagavad Gita, this truth is confirmed in the 4th chapter, 4.2, and the perfect system of learning is to receive it from authority. The very same system is accepted universally as truth, but only the false arguer speaks against it. For example, modern spacecraft fly in the sky, and when scientists say they travel to another side of the moon, men believe these stories blindly because they have accepted the modern scientists as authorities. The authorities speak and as people in general believe them. But in the case of Vedic truths, they have been taught not to believe. Even if they accept them, they give a different interpretation. Each and every man wants a direct perception of Vedic knowledge, but foolishly they deny it. This means that the misguided man can believe one authority, the scientists, but will reject the authority of the Vedas. The result is that people have degenerated. Here is an authority speaking about Sri Krishna as the original personality of Godhead and the first Narayan. Such an impersonalist as Acharya Shankara, even such an impersonalist such as Acharya Shankara, has said in the beginning of his commentation on the Bhagavad Gita that Narayan, the personality of Godhead, is beyond material creation. The universe is one of the material creations, but Narayan is transcendental to such paraphernalia. Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajans who knows the principles of transcendental knowledge. He confirmed that Lord Krishna, being the original personality of Godhead, is also corroborated by the impersonal Shankara. All other acharyas have also confirmed this statement, and thus there is no chance of not accepting Lord Shri Krishna as the original personality of Godhead. Bhishma Dev says that he is the first Narayan. This is also confirmed by Brahmaji in the Bhagavatam 10.14.14. Krishna is the first Narayan. In the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, there are unlimited numbers of Narayan who are all the same personality of Godhead and are all considered to be plenary expansions of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The first form of the Lord, Sri Krishna, first expands himself as the form of Baladev, and Baladev expands into many other such forms, such as Sankrishna, Pradyumna, Niruddha, Vasudeva, Narayan, Purusha, Rama, Nrsimha. All these expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and Sri Krishna is the original source of all the plenary expansions. He is therefore the direct personality of Godhead. He is the creator of the material world, and he is the predominating deity known as Narayan in the Vaikuntha planets. Therefore his movements among human beings are another sort of bewilderment. The Lord therefore says in Bhagavad Gita that the foolish persons consider him to be one of the human beings without knowing the intricacies of his movement. The bewilderment regarding Sri Krishna is due to the action of his twofold internal and external energies upon the third one, called the marginal energy. The living entities are expansions of his marginal energies, and thus they are sometimes bewildered by the internal energy and sometimes by the external energy. By the internal energetic bewilderment, Sri Krishna expands himself into unlimited numbers of Narayan and exchanges or accepts transcendental loving service from the living entities in the transcendental world. And by his external energetic expansions, he incarnates himself in the material world amongst men, animals, and demigods to re-establish his forgotten relation with the living entities in different species of life. Great authorities like Bhishma, however, escape his bewilderment by the mercy of the Lord. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagana Ragana Pramtam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sagana Larita Shri Vishakam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharye Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Prasadatvastapurne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. To repeat the verse, this Shri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayan, the supreme enjoyer. But he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vishnu, just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with his self-created energy. So, we are in this glorious chapter of the passing of Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev is, as Prabhupada highlights, one of the 12 Mahajans. So it means he is one of the authorities on knowledge. And Krishna has brought Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas in the presence of Bhishma Dev. Krishna is always anxious to give glories to his devotees. When Krishna says, Sarva Dharma Prityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, he says, you abandon all varieties of religion and you surrender to me. Now, if somebody in the material world says that, we would say, who is this? This person's full of ego. They think we should surrender to him? Right? So foolish people think Krishna is speaking in ego. When he says, Mam Ekam, you surrender only to me. But that is because they are foolish. Krishna is saying Mam Ekam because this is the only means to find happiness in life. Peace. And Krishna, being all-loving personality, wants all of us to be in full bliss and happiness. So, he says this Maha may come. But if we see his activities, Krishna's activities, Jai Shri Radha Kundra, Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subramanya, Jai Shri Srinath Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Krishna is always giving glories to his devotees. Though he's saying, surrender to me, his happiness comes in glorifying his devotees. The materialists, their happiness comes in glorifying themselves and when others glorify them. But Krishna is glorifying the great Bhishma Dev. How? He has brought Bhishma Dev, who is now lying on this bed of arrows. He's actually not lying on a bed of arrows. The arrows have completely pierced his body. It's not like he's lying on top. The arrows have gone all the way through his body. And in that condition, Krishna is saying, Bhishma Dev is qualified to speak and clear the doubts of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Was Krishna not able to clear the doubts? Of course he could. He is the ultimate doubt clearer. But to glorify Bhishmadev, to see how glorious Bhishmadev is, people may become confused and think, Bhishmadev fought on the side of the Kauravas. Wasn't he mistaken? Didn't he went on the wrong side? This is again foolish conclusions. Because why Bhishmadev fought on the Kauravas? To prove that when Krishna is present, nobody can defeat. Whoever Krishna is protecting, nobody can harm. And whoever Krishna wants to harm, nobody can protect. And Bhishmadev being the greatest warrior, he knew, if I fight on the side of the Pandavas, people may think, it's because of my presence Krishna won. So better let me fight on the side of the Kauravas to show that nobody can beat Krishna. So Bhishmadev is sacrificing his own name and reputation to glorify Krishna. And Krishna is sacrificing his own name and reputation to glorify Bhishmadev. How? He broke his own word, his vow not to pick up a weapon, to uphold the word of his devotee. He said, let me not make my devotee a liar, I'd rather make myself a liar. Who does that? The same person that says, Ma'am ekam sharanam vraja. You give up everything and surrender to me. The same person. Because he is speaking not out of ego, but out of love. So Bhishmadev is here now, lying on the bed of arrows, and he has asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, you take counsel from Bhishmadev on what to do. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj, of course, we know, did not want to fight. And Bhishmadev, what does he do? He says, hey, let's be clear here. This Krishna, who is walking amongst us, is no ordinary personality. He has brought you all here to seemingly seek advice for Yudhishthira Maharaj. But don't forget who he is. He is the original personality of Godhead. So, don't, succumb. Though Krishna is always wanting to give glories to his devotees, don't think, he was the charioteer of Arjuna in the battle. But Krishna loves giving up his position for his devotees. But foolish people think, this Krishna, he's got some questionable character. He's not showing great power. He goes and steals butter. He dances with the gopis at night. He tells lies. What kind of God you have? So Bhishmadev, the Mahajan, says, this Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable, original personality of Godhead. So see, he makes the word inconceivable. What does that mean? What does inconceivable mean?
Not understandable.
You can't know. What kind of God we have? He makes himself unknowable? No. He is known. But by a process.
Say it again.
By a process.
By a process. Okay.
Prabhupada says, the Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the deductive process. It means we cannot know God by our own understanding. Why? Because we are tiny, limited, infinitesimal sparks. You can get out your big fancy telescope and you can try to look deep into the sky. And that range of your vision will only take you to one tiny, tiny fraction of this universe. And how many universes there are? As many grains of sand as there are on a mile-long beach. Each grain of sand representing one universe. If you pick up a handful of sand, you cannot even count the number of grains on your hand, let alone on this giant beach. And our telescope can only take us to some tiny fraction of this one, within this one grain of sand. And we want to say that yes, by my pratyaksha praman, by my anuman praman, by my sense perception, I will tell you what God is. That is foolishness. So that's why Bhishma Dev says, Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable. Because he's inconceivable by our own process, by our own deduction. So how is he conceivable then? By hearing from him. Only Krishna, the supreme inconceivable, can make himself conceivable. No. He can make himself known. And he does. And he gives this knowledge. And Prabhupada writes that in the beginning of the chapter, 4th chapter, right? Bhagavad Gita, 2nd verse. Evam param param praptim. Imam rajasu viduhu. I don't know why I'm moving, I can't read. Sakale nahe mahata. Yoga nashta parantapa. He says this transcendental knowledge, it comes not from your own, I have a vision, I've become inspired and empowered to speak on what God is. That is a waste of oxygen. All I'm producing in my speaking is carbon dioxide, nothing else. But how to know? Evam parampara praptim. It says this knowledge is passed down through disciplic succession. So this knowledge is descending knowledge. It is not ascending. Let me look up in the sky and see the Lord. All I'll do is get a stiff neck. Useless. The process is here, through parampara. Srila Prabhupada is giving us perfect knowledge of who Krishna is and how to understand Krishna. Because you can think, who is in this assembly? You must have read in some prior verses.
Various sages.
Various sages? Huh? When Bhishma Dev is lying on the bed of arrows, such an extraordinary event was happening that all the sages came. Like Parvat Muni, Nard Muni, Dhaumya, Vyas. Again, I'm sorry, my eyes are not. But these great, great personalities are coming. Great sages, signifying how great Bhishma Dev is. And many of those sages don't know this fact. That Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. But how we know? Because Srila Prabhupada ingrained it into our consciousness. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One time he was giving a lecture and this conversation came and he called Saraswati, this famous first daughter of ISKCON's says, who is Krishna? And she says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See? Even she knows. But how she knows? Not through sitting on the banks of the river and trying to speculate. Evam parampara praptam. By hearing. Shabda praman. Hearing. Then you can know authoritatively. Prabhupada gives a very, nice example. That if a child wants to know its father, how they can know? Who is my father?
Mother.
Ask mother.
Right.
She's the only one who can authoritatively say. So if we want to know who is the original personality of Godhead, who is the creator, why he created this world, why he created me, we have to go to the source. And that source is only one. There's only one source. Krishna. He is the original source. How parampara works? This example will work more in this situation than typically when I give this example. It's not the perfect thing. What did I eat for dinner yesterday? You don't know. You can guess and speculate, right? But if I tell you what I ate for dinner yesterday, you tell Prabhu, Prabhu tells him, then how he will know what I ate for dinner? Because the knowledge has been passed in Parampara. But the accuracy of your knowledge will be based on you all passing as it is, the knowledge. You don't say, he ate this, but he should have eaten this, so let me add this item. Parampara means pass the message as it is, without any addition, without any subtraction. And when it's done that way, what happens? Knowledge passes down intact. There's no less potency in me telling you what I ate than you telling him what you ate. There's no difference. And that's the authenticity of parampara. So this is the only way to know about God. Because otherwise, we, like those who had assembled on this battlefield, will think, oh, this is a nice person. He's very powerful. He fought well in the battle. But will not understand. He is the original, supreme personality of Godhead. Because when we see Krishna in 2 arms, 2 legs, head, body, sometimes acting in ways that, we can relate to, we think, oh, he's one of us. He's not one of us. We are a fraction of him. Krishna doesn't look like us. He is the source.
Okay.
Right? He is the source. So, the only way to know, Prabhupada is telling the whole first part of this purport is hearing from an authority. So the authority is saying that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. But how much lack of hearing there is? If you go at least to India and you ask 100 people, who is Krishna? How many will say and know He's the original personality of Godhead. If you're lucky one.
Real?
Yeah. I just having a conversation a few days ago and somebody said, oh, Krishna comes in Dashavatars as like number 6.
Oh, yeah. He's number 1. Not Vishnu.
So, he must be, one of the avatars.
Right.
So who's supreme? Oh, of course, Vishnu. He has 4 arms. Krishna only has 2 arms. Huh? So how to rectify this statement?
Right.
The Shiva says Shiva is the Ishvara, the controller. Some personalities say Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they are all equal. Let's throw a few more personalities in there. What is all this? This is all Dr. Frog mentality. Prabhupada said, us humans trying to understand something gigantic with our own speculation. And it becomes so prevalent that thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers are going and following this system for generations. And it's completely wrong. So it shows us that we have to be very careful where we take our knowledge from. And if we don't take our knowledge from parampara, we'll not understand this. So, Krishna expands himself into unlimited number of incarnations. Even this, understanding this Vishnu Tattva is bewildering. As Prabhupada writes, which we'll see in coming cantos of Shrimadbhagavatam, that Krishna first expands himself as Lord Balaram. Balaram expands himself into Lord Narayana. Then the quadruple expansion. Pradyumna, Sankarsana, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. Then another Lord Narayana. Then the secondary quadruple. What's the point of all this detail? To show us, don't speculate who comes from where. It is in Shastra. And all the avatars, Lord Ram, Nrsimha, Vamana, Kurma, Matsya, all of them, they are expansions through the expansion. They don't even come directly from Krishna. But they are all equally potent. That's why Prabhupada says this word plenary expansions. What does plenary mean? Plenary is it comes from the Latin word plenum, which means complete. So it's not a partial expansion. They're fully potent, but they only show and demonstrate a portion of their power. So, in the Brahma Samhita we get this example. What's the example given? Candles.
Candles.
Right? There are 100 candles lit. They all burn with the same power. But there is one source candle that lit all the other candles. So who is that source? It's Krishna. He is the source. So don't forget what we saw in 2nd chapter, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. He is the source of all these incarnations. At the same time, don't minimize these incarnations because they are plenary, they are equal, they're very powerful, very potent. Though they only show a portion of their capabilities. And when Krishna himself comes, don't be bewildered and think he's just some ordinary personality. So Prabhupada ends this purport by saying that Krishna has his two energies, his internal energy and his external energy. And he refers to us as marginal. Why are we marginal? We are marginal because our original position is of the superior internal energy. Because we are spirit. We are part and parcel of Krishna. But we are marginal because we choose to associate with the inferior material energy. And sometimes, with knowledge, we associate with the superior spiritual energy. So we are bouncing between the two, so we are marginal. And we become bewildered. Bewildered by his external material energy. His Maya Devi. Bewilders us. And we forget that Krishna is the original personality of God. Why? Because we wanted to try to enjoy separate from Krishna. But we can't. Everything is Krishna's energy. Everything in this material world is his apara shakti. So if we want to enjoy in this world anything, we have to enjoy Krishna's energy. But we want it to be separate from Krishna. So Krishna covers our understanding and we don't see Krishna everywhere. Why we don't see Krishna? It's not Maya Devi's fault. It's our fault. We wanted to experience life separate from Krishna, which is impossible. Just like the magician, right? When the magician is sawing the person in a box in two, it's not happening. But to make it seem like it's happening, he creates an illusion. And the more illusion, the more powerful we separate from reality. So Maya Devi is very powerful because we can never be separated from Krishna. To make us feel separated, you need a very powerful illusion. And that is Maya Devi. So how to come out of illusion and see Krishna as the original personality of Godhead? Simply, Mameva ye prapadyante, surrender to Krishna, he says. Just surrender to Krishna. And Mayam etam tarantite, you'll immediately overcome this energy. So it's not difficult. But if we try by our own understanding, let me try to see the truth. Waste of time. See the truth by hearing the truth. We see with our ears, not with our eyes. We see with our ears. Shabda Pramana. By hearing from the authority, then we'll get conclusive knowledge and not make the mistake. And this illusionary energy is so beautiful that when you purify and go back to the spiritual world and enter Krishna's pastimes, and when you all go, you ask Krishna, please bring me too with you all. One exception. Because there, people don't see Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The residents of Vrindavan, they don't see Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They see him as Krishna. This beautiful, loving boy, who for some miracle reason seems to save us every time we are in danger. Mother Yashoda is chasing Krishna with a stick. If she knew he was the original personality of Godhead, what she would do? Offer dandavats. But Krishna enjoys that motherly affection and also motherly chastisement. So to give Krishna the pleasure of experiencing that, he engages his Yogamaya potency in the form of the Yogamaya to cover the understanding of Yashodamaya. But it goes beyond that. If he himself remembers he's the original personality of Godhead, then how he can experience the pleasure of being fearful from mother? He's the Supreme Lord. So Yogamaya even covers his own understanding. If we try to understand this with our tiny, brains, we'll become bewildered. We can only understand this through the eyes of our acharyas. Because how Krishna can be bewildered? He chooses to, so that he can experience that unencumbered Vatsalya Bhava, unencumbered Sakhya Bhava, this parental relationship, friendship relationship, even lover relationship. This is the mystical potency of the Lord. So sweet. We're going to celebrate Govardhan Puja in a few days, and Krishna's lifting Govardhan Hill. He's lifting Govardhan Hill 7 days. After he puts Govardhan Hill down, what just happened? We are all big grown men, and this little 7-year-old boy saved us by holding this hill. For a moment we tried to lift the hill, hold it, and it almost fell on all of us. If I was holding a rock like this, how many of you would come underneath it? Any of you? Krishna's holding a mountain.
With his finger.
Not his finger. With the fingernail.
Oh, fingernail. Okay.
On the left hand, left finger. Okay. Holding like this. And all the residents of Vrindavan just went underneath. Who would stand underneath? If it tips, dead. Chapati. Done. Done. But they all went in bliss. And afterwards, they go to Nanda Baba. Nanda Baba, your son must be empowered by Lord Narayan. Yeah, I heard that from Garga Muni. He said something like that. He is the source of Lord Narayan. But the residents of Vrindavan are. So being an illusion is okay, but we should be in the right illusion. And how to come into knowledge and to come out of illusion in this material world is by only one process. Hearing from Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, from Parampara. This is the process. No other process. Drop our own analysis at the door. It's useless. Waste of time. But hearing from great personalities like Bhishma Dev, we get authoritative knowledge. Then we can progress in the path very confidently, securely, and with assured success. Guaranteed success. Because this knowledge is deductive. It is not ascending. Grantaraj Shrimadbhagavatam ki. Prabhupada ki. Any questions, comments?
Can you explain how Krishna, of all the avatars, is the only one who plays?
Plays.
He doesn't work.
Krishna expands himself as Lord Balaram. And then Lord Balaram expands. So who's maintaining the universe? Ganadakshay Vishnu, Mahavishnu.
The demigods.
Who's maintaining each individual universe? It's resting on Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And when the demigods go and see Lord Vishnu, who they are seeing? Kshirodakshay Vishnu and Shweta Devi on the milk ocean. So Krishna has expanded himself. They do all the work. What's his work? Play on his flute. Play with his friends. Tease Mother Yashoda and the elderly gopis. Torment the gopis. That's his activities. Just playing. Prabhupada says,
Maybe that's what I want.
Prabhupada says that because we are son of Krishna, we are not meant to labor hard in a factory. We are trying to enjoy this material world by working like cats and dogs, so hard working. Our nature is to just enjoy with Krishna. That's it. So, Krishna just plays. And remember, Krishna shows and has the full variety of qualities. Right? Certain personalities don't, like Lord Nrsimhadev when he comes, right? He comes with a certain mission. So he doesn't demonstrate all these qualities. He has them, but he doesn't show them. Lord Ramchandra comes and performs these amazing activities for a purpose of guiding humanity. You know, ideal king, ideal life. But Krishna comes to give pleasure to his devotees. That's why we say, you cannot follow Krishna's actions. You can follow Lord Ramchandra's actions. But Krishna's actions, if you follow, Krishna will be. But you follow Krishna's instruction. But you can follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's actions. And he came to show how to perform bhakti. Right? So each appearance has a purpose in how we can become inspired. And that also we have to understand from Shastra. I had one person tell me that Dashavatars proves evolution. Because first came fish, then tortoise. I said, oh, Krishna. How? Oh, then half man, half lion. See, that's making progress towards humans. This is foolishness, mental speculation. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantharaj Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai. Antakoti Vaishnavrinda.